Welcome to Rose City, the after show of the podcast where we dive into the world of the popular novel Rose City by author Corenna Khieu. In each episode, we will be discussing a different aspect of the book, from the complex characters to the intricate plot twists and everything in between. Check out Rose City on Kindle Vella to stay up to date as we explore unique perspectives and insight on the story. So before we get started, I have to give out some special love to Miss Kyrie Nikita. She caught me off guard this morning. I get a phone call and it's DoorDash, and I'm like, guess what, spam callers? We're not doing that this morning, okay? I was like, she's like, answer the phone. And I'm like, what do you mean? Who you talking to, Jan? She was like, answer the phone. I'm like, I don't understand this energy that my girls give me. So I answered the phone and they're like, we have a delivery for you. And I was like, oh, okay. So went downstairs. My girls sent flowers and I was like, it's not my birthday. It's not my anniversary. Like, I'm trying to understand. And she was like, we've been doing the podcast officially 6 months now. She was like, I was celebrating. I was like, oh my God. So thank you to you wonderful ladies and for Miss Kyrie for even remembering, honey. So got some flowers over here. Look at these beautiful
Right.
flowers, honey. My girl came through.
Thank
I was
you,
so
Monica.
shocked.
She sent me a cash app for lunch, and I was like,
Look at her.
oh, out of nowhere. It was
She catching people
expected.
off guard.
I had a
You're
rough
so
morning,
amazing.
and yeah,
Everybody needs you in their life, We gotta start cloning you. I need to figure out what's in their DNA. But she's just so thoughtful and so caring and so loving. And that just caught me off guard. I told her I'll probably go somewhere and cry later on about it and everything. Praise God. So we're gonna get to one of our questions that has been like a hot topic lately. And I really didn't even want to go there because I'm like, I feel like people have just been talking about it way too much. But there were some things that I think I wanted to say that I could relate to. So before we go any further, let's talk about Keke Palmer and her boyfriend Darius and that whole fiasco that happened, folks. What do you guys think that was the real problem? Because for me, I really don't think it was the outfit. I really think that he felt some kind of way about it being Usher. Ladies,
that's all it was.
I'm not going to fight y'all every time we do this. What'd you say, Alicia?
No, I said that's all it was. It wasn't about her outfit. I mean, he put her on his IG twerking in a skin tight outfit, and
What's the
she's
difference?
Kiki. She's been Kiki. Yeah, she's doing her. What it was the way Usher, even though he does, this is kind of his thing. He was serenading
Right.
her, and she, like, she hugged up on him, and if they weren't like two celebrities, if they were just two normal people that you saw at the club, you would think they were together. You'd be like, oh, okay, they having their little moment,
Mm-hmm.
little couple, but they're not a couple. So that's all it is. He probably felt threatened for a
That's part
minute.
of Usher's show.
This guy isn't, her husband or whoever he is, boyfriend.
Boyfriend.
He's not on Usher's level. So he obviously
He's not even a
felt,
celebrity.
a little threatened. He don't need to. He's baby daddy, but
Not at all. It was part of Usher's show, and I'm sure he saw Kiki before she left the house. My thing with that whole situation was, if there's ever a problem between me and you, we need to deal with that privately. I don't like that public display stuff. I don't like getting ghetto out in the streets and screaming and yelling and all of that type of stuff. Don't put me on blast and I won't put you on blast. So I feel like for some people, they was like, yeah, he was valid. I mean, everybody can have a point, but you're definitely not going to control what I put on my body. That was like one of the first things I said to T when we first got together. I said, we need to have a discussion because my last situation, he tried to control my clothing. He got with me and he was okay with how I was dressing. And then little bit by little bit, it was like kind of starting to look like a skank. Like, you kind of look like a hoe. Like, and I was like, yeah, shut up. He just like, I mean, it just looks cheap and it's this. And it was all these things taking a dig at me. And I just really didn't care because I knew it was like lies because all my friends were like, oh, you look great. You look very pretty. You look nice. And so I knew my friends wouldn't send me out in the world looking like cheap, right? So I knew it was coming from a place of insecurity, but it was an argument every single time that we went somewhere, to the point he took me shopping one time and I ended up at Walmart and he started picking up $3 sweaters that were baby powdered pink and canary yellow. I don't think they look really like pretty on you. Like, this will look so good on you. And he was picking out like the cheapest. I like a good turtleneck, but baby, these turtlenecks were super cheap. cheap turtlenecks that look like it really should have been for like a 3-year-old little girl, not no grown woman. You know what I'm saying? And he's, oh, the sweater. Oh, she wanted me buttoned up to here. He had his
Mm-mm.
own insecurities, and I'm gonna say the people who have the biggest insecurities about you coming out here just that, you're the one who's cheating. You're projecting these overwhelming emotions on people because you feel maybe some type of projection of your own foolishness. Again, back to Kiki, I didn't see a problem with the outfit. Definitely, Kiki was out here being cheeky, and I was here for it.
I
But my
mean,
perception of
okay,
like the human
I would have
body,
wore it.
well, she turned around, her little cheeks was out. But again,
I would have wore it. I would have
I'm just
twerked.
really different. I would have did it, like, because I mean, like, there's proper place and time for all things, right? We've all worked in business establishments where we had to have suits on. We had to be very professional. We know how to be at a funeral. We know how to be at a wedding. We know how to be at a baby shower. We know how to be at a party and turn up. That was turn up attire. She was appropriate for where she was at. Now, if she would have showed up to somebody's wedding or somebody's funeral or baby shower, like, Key, what you doing, girl? Like, that's a little much. So you have to know how to dress for the occasion. I feel like she was dressed for the occasion. Again, if he had an issue with the outfit, it should have been addressed then. But even if you addressed it, I'm still a grown woman. And ain't nobody, and I do mean nobody, I don't care if we're married or not, you're not going to tell me, take your black tail back upstairs and put the different outfit on. No, 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 because I don't dress you and you won't dress me. I will never put anything on myself that I feel that I'm disrespecting myself first. Well, isn't that kind of tight or isn't that kind of short? I know what I bought. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to just mob in the house in it either. I'm grown. And I respect that you may not like this, but I also have to respect the fact that I don't have a problem with it. So my husband has always been very much like, you do you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's something that you like, I can't tell you what to put on your body. He's tried it a few times, and I was like, listen, sir, your point was valid. I'm definitely hearing you, and I understand what you're saying, but I'm still going to wear this anyway. He was like, mm-hmm. Not because I'm trying to be disrespectful, but I have to respect myself. I was sheltered, like my girls here. Everybody and anybody had a say about what we were doing. Could you imagine living your whole life and everybody controlling you, from the people at the church to your mama's friends to your daddy's friends to your family members? Everybody has too much say about your life. You're not even in control of you. I wear what I want to wear. I'm grown. Go ahead.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I feel like, this is what celebrities do. I feel like it was a big publicity stunt, and then also I just thought about it now, Karina,
Yeah,
he probably did say something to her about it. And Kiki is going to be like, okay, I get it. I'm still going to wear it anyway. And he got in his feelings and he took it to the masses because he wasn't getting the attention that he wanted, and we see that a lot, so I think he was seeking attention and his feelings was hurt because she didn't respect his wishes to not wear it or, whatever. So,
I think that too many men need to start to realize that they're married to grown women who have the ability to make decisions for themselves. You knew what you were getting yourself into when you married me or got with me. If my style of clothing is something that you feel is inappropriate, then I'm definitely going to be like, I respect the fact that you don't want your girl dressed like that, but I'm definitely not changing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be like, oh, your husband feels upset. Well, I mean, I don't like the way he dresses sometimes. I'd be like, can't you like jazz it up a little bit more? You out here just a t-shirt and some jeans and you ready to go on date night. Like,
Mm-hmm.
didn't we talk about the whole lumberjack thing? Like, it's not giving, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not dictating to him, like, I want you to have a button up on it and I want that fade just right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not dictating what you can and cannot do. I respect the fact that maybe I might want you a little bit more dressed up than what you want to do with your sweatpants on and your t-shirt. But that's what I married. And I love you for who you are. Stop
We
trying
all
to change
do
people.
it.
All you're going to do is create resentment. But that was all that I had to say because I could go on all day about this topic. It's very near and dear to me, but I'm not changing. And if you're like, well, that's not respecting your husband, well, I mean, he has choices because I do too. As an adult woman, I'm going to do what feels right for me. And I hope that you know my heart and to know that I would never try to do anything that would, just make you feel like, you crazy. Because I would not show up to somebody's funeral with my cheeks out. Like, that's
Right.
doing too much at your grandma's funeral. You know what I'm saying? It's time and place. So Any other
Right.
thoughts before we move on to our reflections of chapter 20?
Yeah, you know what? He is tripping because Kiki, even before she had the baby, she liked to dress up. So, like, I could see if she was like real conservative and kept everything closed up, buttoned up, whatever, and then she got married and decided to start wilding out. That'd be one thing because then he'll be like, "That's not what I married."
They're not
Um,
even married to him, but that's neither
well,
here
not
nor there.
married, but yeah, that's
Yeah,
all.
I understand what you're saying. Connecting, involved with.
Something's been, you know, Kiki,
Yeah.
Virgo,
Um,
Virgo gang.
right. I'm gonna say that whatever your issues are with each other, address that in private. I'm never going to disrespect you. I feel it's more disrespectful to try to put somebody on blast. Like, I'm always that person that I'm saying that if I have a problem with you, we're going to keep it between us. And that's even like if me and my girls had an issue, if there was something that bothered me or something that bothered them, they're not going to put it on Facebook. You know what I don't like? Women who aren't supportive of other women. I see that so much on social media with other people. And I'm just like, why don't you call the person up who you really want to give that message to? You out here making blanket statements and everybody's like, oh, you're talking about me. You're talking about, you're seeking attention is what you're looking for. Because if you really wanted to address something that you felt like you weren't being supported by your friend, or you felt that that person said something that hurt your feelings, you know where they stay. You know what I'm saying? You
And you
know
got
what their
the
phone
phone
number
number.
is.
You could type a
Have a
number or
meeting.
a text
You know what I'm
message,
saying?
and then you could put up a post.
I've always said I'm the type of person, if I know where you live, I'm pulling up, baby. Like, don't you worry about it. Especially if somebody's supposed to be my girl, like I pull up on you. Like, hey, what's up? Like, you know what I'm saying? I just want to make sure we good. Face to face, eye to eye. You know what I mean? I'll pull up on you. What's up? Are we good? Is this okay? You know what I'm saying? Or call that person. But you ain't never gonna see Corenna on Facebook, Instagram, or any other thing throwing subliminal shots. It's not necessary. I'm too old for that. I'm a grown woman. Grown women handle grown women business. I'm not gonna be a 12-year-old girl out here throwing random shots, trying to see where it lands. I'm not going to open up my relationship to that, whether it's for male or female. If there's an issue, we know how to handle that. We know how to party with it. So,
Hmm.
all right, folks. Well, let's move on to chapter 20. What were I would say some of my thoughts. Malia, my girl, was going through the works, you guys. She has now showed up to Antonio's house. She had 3 glasses of wine. She reveals to Antonio she hadn't even eaten anything all day. So he's like, okay, that's why this wine is really hitting harder than it should be right now. So he goes and he makes her a sandwich. She thinks, okay, well, thanks for the sandwich. I'm gonna drive home now. And he's like, you're stumbling into the furniture. You're not going nowhere. Antonio takes Malia upstairs, puts her into his bed, like, you're just gonna sleep here tonight. Now we do remember April is gone. She's out of town for a girls' trip. Malia, honey. Personally, I wouldn't have been rolling up on nobody's house, especially a male friend of mine. Absolutely, I don't care how long we've known each other. I'm not rolling up on you because that'd be the time I knock on the door and somebody else is there and she say something crazy to me, and it's just going to be a problem. So, Malia, I think that goes back to feeling kind of like that, not naive feeling of like, oh, these are my friends. There has to be some boundaries, sis. You have to clearly define those boundaries in the sand. You don't roll up on no man who's engaged to be married and his girlfriend's out of town. Now you're drunk. Now you can't go home. Now that car is going to be parked outside all night. See what
Overnight.
I'm saying? You catch my drift? It's going to be an issue. It can be an issue. Victoria, the nosy neighbor, has already come over talking junk. And so now Antonio's like, I got to deal with this. Malia is a mess. She is spilling her beans. She is revealing some very serious things about life and the way she's feeling. She's extremely vulnerable. She seems like I would say out of all of the chapters, this is the most I've seen her broken. And I'm just kind of trying to figure out like what is it? Like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe sometimes when you feel like you've been in like been in the mud for a minute, you've been stuck and it finally feels like you're gaining some traction. And then it feels like the thing that's making me the most happy is now being pulled away from me. Like she had a whole tantrum, a breakdown, and it's coming out in the wine. What were
Mm.
your thoughts, Kyrie?
Well, I feel like we knew this day was going to come. Malia has been bursting at the seams for so long, and she's been holding it in, trying to keep it together.
True.
So we knew this was bound to happen, and then also I was thinking the only reason why she went to Antonio's house is because of Antonio's connection to Chan. Because I don't feel like she would have went if it wasn't for that reason. Because she went to get more information about Chan. She didn't just go over there to kick
Right.
an event. She got homegirls for that. And then also, we talked about she didn't have that forward thought of what does this look like? What's this going to look like? She was just caught up in her feelings.
Yeah, she wasn't thinking like that.
Yeah, she was just caught up in her feelings with, the situation and frustrated. She thought it was something, and then he didn't ask for the number again. And, what do I do? What's going on? And she hasn't even allowed herself to date anybody or have these feelings and these emotions about somebody. And then she's finally doing that. And it's just like, this is not what I thought it was. Like after all this time, so it's just so much going on with
Yeah.
her, and so I sympathize with her, because of that. Yeah, it's like something had to give. And then, her and Antonio have been friends for so long. She's feeling safe. She's had some liquid courage, and it is just all coming out, all
Hmm.
coming out. And I'm so,
It's
so,
all
so
coming out.
happy Antonio did the right thing. So happy.
Right. I, definitely had some mixed emotions on some of the things that were going on, but let's get right to the first question here, Ye.
All right. During this chapter, Malia said that she felt in the past that she has been hostile toward dating because of the hurt she sustained with Mike. Can any of you ladies relate to that feeling? If so, why or why not? Yeah, I definitely can relate. I know with my last encounter, uh, it was pretty hurtful. I haven't done a lot of dating. I'm very selective with who I spend my quality time with, and I feel like I vet people very well. And that changes as you get older. You learn, and you're like, oh, I misread this, or I didn't know that you were doing this stuff behind my back. So as you experience things, you learn from it, and then the next time you enter a relationship, you hope to make better decisions to avoid those previous frustrations, right? But sometimes people are really good at just hiding stuff, and they're pretty deceptive until they get you in a tight spot, and then you kind of got to fight to get your way out. But after my last situation, I was done. I was done. I think that was like my third relationship, and I was just like so heartbroken that people can act this ugly, especially people in the name of God, can just treat you so badly and be so rude
Talk
and
about
so
that.
mean and so cold. And it's just like, what is this about? And I feel like I communicate very well. It's very peaceful, I'm just trying to understand, and I'm also want to be understanding of your feelings, but sometimes that just doesn't work. No matter what you say, how you say, what you do, you're the enemy. And
Hmm.
he was like, he just wanted me to shut up and sit down, don't say anything, don't do anything unless he told me to do it. And then if I cried, he got upset because I was crying,
Mm-mm.
and it was just a lot.
I'm
And
gonna
he was
make
just
you cry.
treating me like I was a servant, you do what I say or I'll get rid of you. I'll find somebody else, and so I was just really hurt by the
Boy,
behavior,
bye.
when
I
people
worry about
love
you.
you and they care about you. Love comes with conditions. Love means, all these different things that it was just like, what? So I really shut down, after that. And I didn't want to date again. I didn't want to ever get married again. I was good, take care of my children, be the best mom I can, run my little business, and I was good. I didn't want nothing to do with it. But the universe had something different for me, and I was offered another opportunity at
Definitely.
love, and my husband now really showed me something different, and he started off with being my friend and just being a complete gentleman, just completely. I didn't know people like him still existed, and he was patient with me during my time where I was just like, I don't want nothing. I just, if you're not going to be a friend, I don't even want to talk to you, and so he was just like, okay, we'll be friends because you're cool, so we were friends for like a year and a half. And then one day I woke up and I was just like, I think I like this guy. Like I just had that, like I felt my heart opening up a little bit. And it was so weird until, I was telling him one day, I was like, I was like, I think I like you. And so he was like, really? Okay. So it just went on from there. But yeah, experiencing hurt, and it doesn't always start in relationships, intimate relationships when you get older. It could start
Right.
from a parent child relationship,
Hmm.
and I have an adopted background, and being separated from my siblings and, not having my biological family, so I had a lot of trauma going all the way back to birth, so, those things
Hmm.
do have a large part to play in how you see relationships, and how you view things, as you grow. And the hostile, that word was, so I was like, hostile is like, yeah, I guess it's a strong word, but I mean, it really does affect everything.
It really is a strong word. Yeah. And I think that like everything nowadays, like that's hostile, that's aggressive. And I'm like, it's not hostile. I feel like if you have a wall up or you have resistance to something, if you're not overly nice about it, and then it comes off as like, well, why are you being acting like this? No, Malia is being smart. I think that when you have had relationships and things didn't go the way that you thought they would, you go into relationships with something called baggage. I don't necessarily think it's hostility because hostility to me is like raging. But I think that you go into relationships and you do bring some of your past baggage because relationships are it's your history, it's your experiences. So I think a lot of times, like I've heard, men that I'm friends would be like, oh, and she's just making me wait too long. And we've been talking now for 2.5 months and I still can't go to her house. And I just be like, why you can't take it slow? This woman has already told you that, hey, came out of, a bad situation. I don't want to move too fast. I want to get to know you before we, jump off in the deep end. And it's just like, there's a lack of understanding on other people's part to people moving in a way that it's like they're trying to be cautious. The world that we live in today, everything moves so fast that nobody wants you to be cautious. The moment that you're just like, I've had some experience, well, those are your experiences, and you need to deal with that. I am dealing with my experiences by not allowing you to become the next experiment. Okay? We need to allow people to be vulnerable with us and say, hey, I've had some problems in my past and I want to get to know you. I do like you. However, I don't want to jump off into something too quickly. I don't think that Malia has been hostile toward the idea of it. I think she's just wanted something that was going to be real. She wanted somebody who's not going to disrespect her like Justin in the bathroom who tried her. She wants somebody who's going to come to her, in a respectful way and not be like Mike, who gaslights her every time he gets an opportunity. That's not being hostile. That's just saying I have standards and I'm looking for somebody who's going to be able to match that energy. And I think that's just really what it came down to. And as far as my own self goes, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I have been a little hostile. Say I can speak for me personally. But and it's just again, you have experiences or other people that you've been really close to, and you're just like, the world is full of bear traps and people are really getting their ankles broke. And then, Kyrie had said, like this is like her third relationship. The type of like the way we were raised, it was really different. I think from a lot of people, they've had relationship after relationship. They've had 10 or 15 relationships. And it's like, that's never been us. And anytime we've been in relationships, they've always been very long-term relationships because it was always like, we were raised to believe you find your soulmate, you find your partner. You don't just fling your body all over the streets with random people. So it is hard when you have this idea of love in your mind and you want to find somebody, you want your little perfect ending, and not saying that like there's never going to be a problem because problems happen, but we know how to work those out with good communication skills and respect. But when things go south and you're like, I've done everything I know how to do, like I followed all the rules, all the formulas, and then you find out that other people have a say, and if they don't want to do it, they don't have to. Alicia, what is your thoughts?
I can relate. That's actually probably a little bit of what's my situation now. You two are married and y'all gave love another chance. Where I'm like, that's nice. I'll live through y'all. I'll listen to y'all stories and laugh and with y'all. But as far as me, nah. And it was, you do have this idea of love, and then for it not to pan out that way, and then of course if you're constantly told, not just by that person, but by people in your own family, people in your own circle, like, nah, there's something wrong with you. You crazy. You this.
Gaslighters.
And kind of like, yeah, that whole almost toxic, I don't want to say in a black community, but just basically like with the church communities we grew up in, where men are allowed to just basically do what they want, and we're supposed to just accept that. Oh, they're just boys. They're just,
Right.
they're men being men. Make yourself more
Men will
presentable.
be men.
Talk softer. Make
Be
sure
more
dinner is made.
feminine.
Keep that
Be
house clean.
softer. You
Yeah,
can whisper and
and you
still
could
get your
do
nose
all of
broke.
that.
Mhm.
I,
You
you
can whisper to him and talk nice and still get cheated on. It didn't happen.
Yeah, you still get cheated on. You'll still
Yeah.
get neglected. You'll still get abused. Not in every
Still
situation,
get
but
beat.
I mean, um, yeah, I can
A lot of
speak
stuff we've
from
seen growing up
experience.
was crazy though.
Yeah, that I saw, that I witnessed, and then later on experienced as an adult myself. You could do everything. I mean, I went to charm school. I mean, you could do everything right, and if you're not with the right person, you're just not. And so,
That's the thing.
right. Yeah. I guess I'm not hostile to, I was. It was like, I don't even want to do, if a dude even looked at me, and I would actually get mad, screw you. What you looking at? Get out of my face. Keep it moving. I'm not hostile towards it now, but it's just a decision that I made where I'm like, you know what? I could have time, fun, not like, hopping in bed with people, but you could talk to people, have a friend here and there or whatever. But as far as like, just getting into all that. I'm actually a little nervous about it, and I'm working on that. Being able to, I guess, trust myself, or trust my own instincts or whatever. So yeah, I definitely can relate to Malia. Um, Thinking, the past, being hostile towards getting into something new. One thing I used to always tell Corenna, why I haven't just hopped back into it yet. It's like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to handle it this time. If it does not work out and I get hurt again, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to process that. So, it could be
I don't
just
think
fear.
his body's gonna be able to process the pain either.
Or
Because we coming through.
his family.
Hmm.
Um,
His family.
his family. But yeah, that's, it's something I go back and forth with. I know Karina is probably, and Kyrie are probably confused, because it's like one week I'm like, yeah, so I'm gonna just do this, and then next week I'm like, I forget dudes. I hate every
No.
Negro on the planet. I ain't want nothing to do with nobody.
You know,
And then so I
I'm
go
gonna be
back.
honest. Social media is not making it very easy either. You read the
Mm.
comments from some of this swine, and it's like, oh, okay. So if y'all this crazy, and God forbid my relationship or something, happens, I'm staying off the market because there is nothing out there anymore. I mean, I'm just like, the level of disrespect is completely way too high. If you say, well, I need a person to have a job and a car, how dare
Girl,
you?
there are
You
so
think you
many
are?
high value men
It's
out
like,
here that us women aren't worthy of. There's too many high value men.
honey, I don't want to be worthy of
I
any
cannot
filth or
say
any
that
trash.
without laughing. High
If it ain't from
value.
God, it ain't from God.